So, buying women things, drinks, or things in general, what hasn't been said about this topic already? There should be absolutely no more reason for guys out there to buy women things, especially drinks. There just shouldn't be any reason. But just in case there still is some guy out there that feels like buying women drinks is something that they should do, I'm going to talk a little bit about it. Now, I'm going to use drinks as a good example, but it relates to buying women pretty much everything. But it seems like buying women drinks is something then, it's a very clear indication of the reasons behind perhaps why men seem to enjoy spending their hard-earned money on women. And the main reason why men would buy women a drink is to hook up with them, to attract them. And look, if you have female friends who are just your friends and you don't feel attracted to them and you buy them drinks, then you should be acting exactly the same way towards your guy friends. If it's really part of your personality, you should be buying your guy friends drinks all the time and not expecting anything in return as well. But usually that's not the case. What usually happens is a guy will buy a woman a drink just for the chance to talk to her, or they'll buy a woman some jewelry to impress them, or when they take a woman out on a date to a restaurant, they'll buy them dinner, they'll pay for dinner. What you really have to look at is what does every one of your actions translate to the woman you're with. So let's say you're at the bar and you buy a woman a drink. Now what does that say to a woman? First of all, you haven't even talked to her. All you've done is look at her and you think, oh, okay, she looks good, and maybe in your mind you start to imagine some reasons why that could be, like you feel her energy, or you come up with some bullshit in your mind why this woman is a good woman. You don't know that. You haven't spoken to her at all. All you've seen is her, maybe the way she dresses. You could have overheard like a couple of words in the conversation. Now, what does this say to the woman? Well, it shows that the guy has absolutely low standards. Apart from the looks, the guy has no standards whatsoever. He hasn't talked to her. He doesn't know what she's like. So obviously he's very, very shallow. That's number one. Now what else does it say? Well, it says that the man has already selected her. So the woman doesn't really have to work anymore. I mean, she knows she can get this guy already. You lose all your power straight away with a woman. You become just one of the many guys that she can have if she chooses so. And it's almost like you become a kind of caricature with a blank personality. Like, even if you have a personality, that's kind of foreshadowed by your actions. You go straight away into a compartmentalized box of the guys that buy women drinks. Because first of all, you're not even different, and this is what most guys do. And you're already sucking up to her and you have no standards. So now she already thinks that you have low standards, that you're really shallow, that you've already chosen her. What else does it say about you? Well, it says that you're willing to spend money just to share a conversation with her. So this goes even beyond you liking her. This goes to the point where you are willing to put your hard-earned money just to talk to this woman. And not only does this show that you really want to talk to her, but also that you really don't put any value on the conversation you would give her. So I'm talking about buying women things, but you can see how this relates into other things like putting effort into doing something for a woman or taking a risk for them. So maybe giving a woman a lift, which has money involved as well because you wasted petrol, but doing something like that, or sticking up for a woman in a fight, even if you're not putting a lot of effort in, you're taking a big risk. And guys would say, well, I'm more capable of doing something than a woman, so I'll still do that for her. But it doesn't matter. Like, yes, you can lift a heavier box than a woman, but if you're not really being rewarded for it, your body is still gonna take a beating from lifting that box. It's not like your muscles are gonna last forever. Every heavy box you lift is putting stress on your body, and yes, you might be more capable of doing something like that, but in the end you are paying the price for it. And that's why men die sooner than women. Now there's a flip side as well, and this isn't talked about a lot, and that is stepping over the line and getting a bit too arrogant. And I understand that some guys have chosen that road where they categorically do absolutely nothing for women, and I don't blame them. However, personally, my personal view is that, for example, if you're on your way home and the woman's house is on the way to your place, offer to give her a ride home. If as long as you kind of get along, more or less, as long as you don't hate each other's guts. In which case, of course, like if you hate each other, but say no. But just remember that there are two ways to influence someone or to discriminate against someone. You can influence someone to do something, and you can influence someone not to do something. And a lot of guys fall into this trap where they are so against doing something because of something influencing them. And as an example, like they're so against commercialism, and they hate any kind of cooperation. So they're so against it that they actually don't do something because of that. Even then, doing something will kind of benefit them. And I hope you understand my something explanation. It sounds a little bit confusing, but as an example, I guess, like not, how hippies, for example, they wouldn't buy anything corporate whatsoever, or you get stuck in this kind of box where you're still influenced by the thing you're against. Even though you are against it, you're still being manipulated by it, and it still has power over it. And when something has a power over you like that, to not do something, they can really, really warp that around to their control in the end anyway. If someone is smart enough, they'll still influence you into not doing something. So you're still under their control in a way. So just watch out for that. Just be careful. Where you really want to be, the place where you really want to be is a place where you do things and don't do things because of how you feel and what you want and don't want to do. A lot of guys would not approach women even when they kind of want to. But you're still being kind of controlled by women in those kind of situations. In some cases, yes, like you shouldn't approach a woman, and in some cases you should. Does that make sense? I hope so. So just to finish up, here's a little spin I put on not buying things for women in my mind, and this might help those guys who are still a little bit on the fence about spending money for women, whether they should or shouldn't do it. And my view is this, that every dollar I spend on a woman I don't really know, and we're talking about women who are kind of, you don't really know them, and I don't know, you don't really get to know a woman until you at least have slept with her or spend a few years together. Maybe you can even say that you married her. So for me, every dollar that I don't spend on a woman frivolously at the moment, that's a dollar that I will be spending on the woman in the future who is the woman of my dreams. The woman I will fall in love with, who's my soulmate, even though I don't believe in soulmates, but who will at least get along with me. And I know she'll get along with me. Or it's a dollar that I'll be spending on my kids' education, my kids' food, my kids' toys, my kids' enjoyment. So every dollar I save now is a dollar I'm saving in the future. And I really like this kind of attitude because it doesn't let me get into that really arrogant kind of stage, but at the same time it lets me avoid falling into the traps that you can fall into and that a lot of guys keep on falling into. So I hope this helps some guys out there kind of get a different kind of point of view maybe. There's a lot of other great videos about this topic, and I think really just to leave, really think about what your actions say and the reasons behind your actions, because that's the most important thing. Always think about what is happening behind the scenes. Thanks.